Hello, Marlborough. I'm Ryan Malliar, the Executive Director here at WMCT-TV, back for another edition of Marlborough Showcase, the show where we bring you highlights of some of the videos we've produced and the events we've covered over the past few weeks. Let's start with a feel-good story that we did with Thrive Support and Advocacy, which is based right here in Marlborough. Thrive empowers youth and adults with developmental disabilities to focus on ability and discover opportunities. This year, Thrive held a prom for all ages at Polar Park in Worcester. I had the pleasure of working the red carpet with my co-host, Counselor Samantha Perlman, and let me tell you, it was such a special night. Take a look. Now, we are at Polar Park. It's a pretty brand new stadium here in Worcester,
Absolutely.
and it is gorgeous.
Yes, I will say the sun is shining and it is beautiful here in Polar Park in Worcester.
And you said that these fashions are on fleek tonight.
They are.
Everyone is dressed to the nines. They're ready to dance. They're ready to have a delicious meal. And I'm excited to grab some red carpet interviews.
Absolutely, they're putting us to shame with their outfits. What's your name?
Jake.
Jake?
And what's...
Cassidy.
Wonderful. And are you both excited to be at the prom tonight? Oh, wonderful.
You both look beautiful. You look very handsome. Have you ever been to prom before?
Not with this kind of part, but I have junior and senior prom through school.
What music are you excited for them to play tonight?
Country and pop.
How about you, sir? Any favorite music to play tonight?
Katy Perry fireworks.
Some good
Well, I hope you
selections.
guys dance the night away. Do you have any shout-outs you'd like to give to any friends or family on TV?
I love you, Mom. Thanks for bringing me. You're the best. Love you.
Do you have any shout outs as well?
I wish my own buddy dad to be here because he just passed away.
Well, I'm sure that it's very special that you bring him up tonight. Thank you so much. We hope you have a wonderful evening to both of you, and we love the coordination. Very nice. Thank you.
And what's your name?
Lisa Kavanaugh.
Is this your first time attending a prom?
Well, I went to high school, but that was a long time ago. So this is my first time at Polar Park
This is a really special prom. Can you tell me why it's special to you?
because it's for all ages and it's for people with intellectual disabilities.
And are you hoping they play any special music for you tonight? Are you going to make any requests for the DJ?
I might.
Yeah, what song is in your mind?
I don't know, all kinds of music.
Do you have any shout-outs to any friends or family that might see this on TV?
Hi, Mom. Hi, Grammy. Hi, Dad.
Have a great time tonight.
Yes, have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Would you like to do the interview as well?
I'll
All
let
right,
you
what
take-
is your name?
Ann Simmons.
Wonderful. It's so great to have you at prom tonight, Anne. Have you been to prom before?
I think I have, I can't remember.
Well, this is a very special one and such a great location. Would you like to give any shout outs to friends or family members?
My sister and her husband and my nieces and nephews. Hi, John. Hi, Taylor. Hi, Eunice and Bob. I'm at the prom tonight.
Woohoo!
So what are your names?
Ben.
I'm Brian.
That's my name too. I'm Ryan. So,
My last name is Wheeler.
oh, that's not my last name. Is this your first time going to a prom?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Yes.
And what are you most excited about?
Everything.
How about you?
Oh.
All of it. Is there any special music that you hope they play tonight?
Anything they want to do.
Anything you can dance to?
Yes.
Are you both going to get your groove on tonight? Show me your best dance move.
Whoa!
Oh, yeah.
Wow!
Do you guys want to give any shout outs to any friends or family that might be watching?
Nope.
No? How about you?
We're gonna have a blast tonight.
Oh, yeah. So tell me what your name is.
Dana.
And is this your first time going to prom?
Yes.
Are you excited?
Yes.
What music are you hoping they play?
Big boys.
Ooh, that's a good choice.
Are you meeting any friends here?
Yes.
Who? Any shout outs? Any friends you want to say hi to on TV?
Tara.
Well, I hope you have a great time tonight. Nice to meet you.
Meet you.
Okay, have you stopped sweating? This is all going really smoothly. You must be so proud. Tell us how you were inspired to create this event in the first place.
You know, I think that, as you all know, we have our anchor, the Forest Memorial Road Race that happens every fall, and we wanted to do a fundraiser that was in the spring. As you may or may not know, the state doesn't always have the ability to fund social and recreation in DDS, and so we wanted to come up with an event that was inclusive, like our road race, but also creative and putting on a magical night. So we almost have a two-for here, right? Yeah. So we have a magical night, and then all the proceeds of it end up going towards our social recreation activities in Marlborough, Worcester, and everywhere in between. So, you know, when we thought of it, it was like, what is the rite of passage that we have? Proms have been that for us, and so it's just super exciting to put this on. I mean, this is incredible. We were joking that this was going to be the best thing that we've done. This might be the bestest thing that we've ever done.
What a night! You can watch the entire video on our website at WMCT-TV.com. A week later, we attended the Marlborough High School senior prom at Stowe Acres Country Club. We were able to capture the students as they arrived, and we interviewed a number of them to get their thoughts on the night. Here's a clip.
Looks like folks are starting to come a lot faster, huh?
And I'm really liking the fashions this year.
Very unique.
Yeah, I mean, the men are still going classic with the tuxedo, little Men's Warehouse action. But the girls...
Classic.
I mean, where else do you go? But... The girls, I'm seeing like a tight bodice and like a lot of flow in the.
Yes.
What were the styles like when you went to prom?
Oh my goodness. Well, I feel like it was very long dresses, very flowy, sometimes a lower back or something, but we're really seeing everyone all over the spectrum. I think we saw some feathers just now. Yeah. Glitter. I mean, I'm really excited to see what else is coming down the line.
We've got another limo pulling up here. This is like a bus limo.
Oh my gosh.
Bus. Oh, there's flat screen TVs in there.
Wow, we should have gotten a ride.
I know. Have a Shirley Temple on the way.
More of a ginger ale myself.
You can make a Shirley Temple with ginger ale or Sprite.
Send me the recipe.
A little grenadine, maraschino cherry, and you're
good
to go.
Oh, hello. Do you guys want to give a shout out to anyone at home? Just say hello. Yeah. Come on up.
Hello. I want to say thank you to my parents for supporting me through senior year and all of school. So shout out to them, I guess.
Awesome.
Shout out to my family and for supporting me through all my college already experiences and supporting me through whatever I decide to do.
You gonna go to the all-nighter after this?
Yes.
You excited?
Yes.
So do you have a change of clothes? What's the game plan tonight?
Yeah, we have a change of clothes.
Change of clothes.
Yeah.
Just hopefully stay up.
I hear a lot of the girls don't like going swimming because they've gotten their hair done and stuff. Are you gonna go in the pool or are you gonna?
I might, just to get it all off, just to,
All at once.
Yes.
And how does it feel to have an in-person prom after not being able to for so long?
This is great.
Amazing, and I can't wait to.
Yeah.
Excited to graduate on Sunday?
Oh yes.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yes.
Have
Well,
a great
enjoy
time.
the prom. Thank you all so much. Have a good time. Oh no! Whoa, fancy.
Oh,
They're putting us to shame over here, Ryan.
I know, some good shoes.
Could we get a shot of my shoes?
No. Oh, well, yours, not mine.
I promise they're not bad. Hello, hello. Do you guys want to give a shout out to anybody?
Shout out to my mom, my dad. I'm wearing a car on my wrist right now. And shout out to Jeremy LaCroix. I love you.
Here, give a shout out.
I give a shout out to my mom and my dad.
Awesome. Enjoy the prom. Have a good time.
Hey,
Do you guys want to give any shout outs to anybody? Back at home?
Shout out to me. Big burgers.
Shout out to my mom, my dad, and my uncle Muhammad.
Shout out to my family and OTS.
Enjoy the prom. Have a good time. Do you guys want to give any shout outs? Come on.
Come on.
People just shouting out family members, friends,
Wait, first
t-shirts.
I need to know more about this hair because it is fantastic. Any shout outs to your hairstylist?
My hairstylist, Felicia
Whoa,
Elkarim,
we have her right here.
We do
Oh my
each
goodness.
other. My hairstylist as well, right here.
We love it.
I would like to shout out Hattie Parker.
Yes.
She's awesome. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here tonight, but love of my life, Hattie Parker.
Yes.
Queen of MHS.
Are you guys going to go to the all-nighter after this as well?
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
I have work the
definitely.
next day, but I'm going to power through it.
You have to.
Yeah.
Stay up that late anyways.
Yeah, it'll be amazing. And to have graduation, how does it feel to have these events back in person?
Oh, it's awesome. I feel bad for the other grades, but I'm glad that we missed that.
Yes, well, you all look stunning. We hope you enjoy the prom.
Any requests for the DJ tonight? Any songs you're hoping to hear?
Love Sosa by Chief Keef for our best friend Andrea. It's her favorite song.
Custer by Slipknot.
Get these requests in.
Have a great time tonight.
Enjoy
Thanks
the
for
prom.
stopping
Have a
by.
good one.
And prom means graduations can't be too far behind. This year, WMCT-TV teamed up with Jill Morin and the Marlborough Public Schools to bring you graduation coverage. Valedictorian Courtney Sweeney gave a heartfelt speech reciting a letter to her 8th grade self.
Dear 8th grade Courtney, I spent a lot of time hating you. Because of that, I want to start this with a formal apology. I am so deeply sorry that every time I see you in a picture, I cannot believe that I was once you. Building my self-confidence always starts by tearing you down, and it's just because I want to believe that I am better now. When I got your letter, I was expecting you to have some grand revelation for me to talk about. An aha moment, I guess, that I could explain. Instead, you just told me about your day. I'm sure that when you got this assignment, you didn't know what to include. Actually, I know that for a fact, since that is quite literally what you started your letter with. How could you possibly know what I would want to hear 4 years later? Maybe halfway through, you realized that I would want a little more insight from you in the letter. The final line is different from the rest. It isn't so much a question or a statement, but a wish. Hope your life is better than. I mean, really, what type of line is that? Just ending the letter with the vaguest, most depressing line of the entire piece. There is nothing in this letter that suggests that life is bad. In fact, it almost makes it seem like we are having the time of our life. Hope your life is better than. This is the only true window into how we felt, isn't it? Everything else is just filler, listing interests that I know we had. I get it though. I mean, I did write it, didn't I? When we say hope in our letter, we still don't understand what hope truly is. We have this idea that hope is some unattainable magic and that when we need it, it will come. Hope is so much more difficult than that. To me, hope is enduring. It is gritty, it is difficult, and it can hurt. By choosing to have hope, we are accepting that we will have to continue to suffer, at least for now. I know that that is the reason you are so terrified to truly hope, Courtney. You don't want to admit you are in pain and that you know there is no easy fix. Unlike you, I do have hope that my life is going to get better. Because of this, I'm going to tell you right now why you should have hope. High school brings you some of your best friends, whether that is in the form of literally meeting new people or getting even closer with people you already surround yourself with. Being a high school athlete causes you to fall in love with your sports even more than you already are. You may not believe this, but we were playing soccer in college next year. You picked your college because it will make you happy, and not because of the name that is attached to it. You don't spend every moment fearing what others think anymore. The only opinions that really matter are those of the ones you love, and even theirs don't hold a candle to your own. Right now, you think that high school will be the answer. It isn't, but I am begging you to realize that that is okay. Please remember that I am here on the other side, and that hope will be the best gift you give yourself. Yours, Courtney.
Congratulations to the class of 2022. Best wishes to all of you. Graduation weekend here in Marlborough was a busy one. After a 2-year hiatus due to COVID, Marlborough's very impressive Main Street Car Show is back and better than ever. Main Street was humming that day, and so was Union Common. Marlborough had its first ever Brazilian trade show. There was amazing music, delicious food, and so many terrific Brazilian traders and vendors presenting their products. What a great day and great turnout. Across the border in Hudson, our neighbors held a festival of their own. The annual Hudson Art Fest had an amazing variety of art on display this year. WMCT's Julia Chamberlain has this video for you. Switching gears, most of us have watched helplessly at the death and destruction taking place as a result of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Well, one local pastor here in Marlborough decided he was going to help some of the victims in need.
The war in Ukraine may not be getting the headlines it did 2 months ago, but the conflict still rages on. The Russian invasion of this war-torn country has left many dead and wounded and countless homeless. Left with no choice but to leave their homeland, millions of refugees have fled to other countries with nothing but their shirts on their backs. One local pastor, who was a native of neighboring Poland, decided he was going to try to help these people any way he could.
My family, my parents still live in Poland. And so when the war began, a lot of my friends and family members were quite active. And, you know, they said just the amount of refugees that poured into Poland, I think out of 6 million Ukrainians, 3 went to Poland, over 3 million went to Poland. So my city took in, you know, over 100,000 within 2 weeks. Warsaw and Krakow took 200,000 or 300,000. I mean, it's just quite amazing.
Reverend Bem is a former refugee lawyer, and his passion for this cause is a personal one.
I think when it really hit home was my nana was a refugee during World War II, and she was kicked out of Warsaw, forced to flee her house by the German Nazi army with my mom, who was 1 year old. And so I was watching one of these TV programs, and I saw this old woman in Ukraine, and she quoted verbatim my nana. And she said, "They made me leave my house. For what? Who gave them the right?" And that just hit really, really home. And so I asked my deacons in my congregation, I said, could we do a collection for Ukraine? And my church is just wonderful, and they said yes. And I thought, you know, if we can get like $1,000, that would be great. So we got 5. And then I posted on the Residents of Marlborough Facebook group, and people were wonderful. So by the end of the week, we had, I think, over $9,000 or $12,000. And donations started pouring in, and our denomination was doing a general collection, but I knew of churches in Poland that were actually taking in refugees and, taking them into the parish halls, into old manses. And people just, slept on bunk beds. People were opening old parish houses. People were renovating places just to take in the refugees. And so I said, well, why don't I just try to ask some of my yearly friends and some of my congregational friends? And I did, and they were wonderful. And then our denomination, our conference, our kind of local diocese, if you're Catholic, so to speak. So it published a blog post that I wrote about it. And then just donations started pouring in. So I went from 5,000, then we had 9, then we had 15 from Marlborough. And then one church just sent in like, oh, we're going to do a collection for you. And, we think it's going to be at least $2,000. And then they emailed us like, oh, we're sending in 15,000. But I also had this delightful pastor send us like the widow's mite. He's like, we're a very small church. You can see by the handwriting that the pastor is somewhat aged. He said, we're sending what we can, and it's $500.
Pastor Bem traveled to Poland. And in addition to visiting his parents, he met some of the refugees firsthand.
That was interesting. It was very intense. I was singing very loudly in church in my home congregation, very loudly. Not necessarily on key. I want to be very clear. And this lady was there, one of the refugees the congregation was hosting. I figured she was probably one of them. And we had a delightful conversation, but she arrived in Poland, and the very next day her son was killed fighting the Russians.
They have now raised over $143,000, and this money is being used in a variety of ways.
So we decided early on to kind of ship it to the Lutheran Diakonia, which is a big organization. The Lutheran Church is the largest Protestant church in Poland. My Polish Reformed Church is very old, but very small. Frozen chosen. So they know what the needs are. So part of it went to, and is going to go to shipments to medical supplies in Ukraine. They have a sister church in Ukraine. And so in the early months, what they were doing, they would take a van to the border or even to the western part of Ukraine. They would drop the supplies and they'd take people whom the congregations there prepared and take them back. We gave them, because, all these places they took them in very often, they had like some small guest houses, but there were no washers, there were no kitchenettes. So we said, in order for them, because we know these people are going to stay there long term. I don't think they know that, but we do. And so we said, well, use it to make them as comfortable, as independent as possible. But for example, it goes to a daycare program we just in Poznan in the Lutheran Church. So it's going to be like a day drop-in care for youth and young adults. So they'll be able to have psychological help, also help with Polish, because they're both Slavic languages. We use different alphabets, and they're not that close. Even I was surprised how. I mean, I can understand some, but I thought I would be able to understand more. So a daycare center, one congregation has renovated these two buildings, so these two women who are seamstresses can open up a business there. And they also, on the other side of a building that they're just repainting because it was stood empty, they're repainting on the inside. It's going to be a daycare, so these Ukrainian and Polish women can have a daycare to leave their children, because they have nowhere, they won't become independent if they have to take care of their children. But daycare, even in Poland, is rare. So they're opening a mixed daycare so the kids can learn Polish and Ukrainian, and the mothers can be, find some for a job opportunity or open up seamstresses. One congregation, and just to give you the scale, one is around 30 members. It hosts 15 people. Yeah, so they have like a small kitchenette, so they're kind of renovating it, and so it's like a proper kitchen that there are 3 families there, so these 3 families can have a kitchen space and a proper fridge and a proper washer. There's a refuge, like a shelter for women and children in Krakow. That pastor in that congregation is fantastic. It's one of the oldest congregations in Poland, Protestant, going back to 1560s, and they opened up and they turned it into this like day care for this shelter for women and children. Just fantastic. I met the women there. They're just great, and they cook and they're looking for jobs and it's a safe place for them to stay, and it's really at a good place. And then, as unsexy as it sounds, we also gave them for electric bills and for heating bills, because they have gone up more than in the United States. But also, as I was leaving, Russia turned off gas. So the prices of gas, we all know, are just going to skyrocket. And, again, a lot of people who took in the refugees because they thought it was going to be a week or two, and it's a lovely gesture, are now saying, well, we can't continue like this. Whereas these congregations want to be there in the long term. But that means that, these people have a roof over their head, and it's dry and it's heated. And again, we left for psychological care, for Polish languages, for job skills, for medical. We just said, whatever you need to do, use.
The church is very grateful for all of the donations, and you can still contribute to this worthy cause.
And if I can just say, I just do want to thank everyone who helped make this happen. And if you still want to contribute, send us a check to First Church in Marlborough, write Ukraine Relief. But I want to say thank you to everyone who helped and who opened their heart for whatever reason, religious, non-religious, humanitarian. Thank you. This is our success and our humanity and our kind of sign of hope in this world, so to speak. So thank you.
If you're looking for more inspiration, look no further than Ward Park, where the Marlborough-Hudson Relay for Life was recently held. This year's Marlborough Hudson Relay for Life raised over $13,000 for cancer research. Another great annual event here in Marlborough is the Lions Club Father-Daughter Dance, and after a 2-year hiatus, the Lions Club held a very special 25th anniversary dance.
Well, we're here at the 25th Annual Father-Daughter Dance, sponsored by the Marlborough Lions Club. We're particularly excited because it is the 25th annual dance. And so that brings lots of memories, lots of just excitement in general, I think, from particularly our Lions members. It was started in April of 1996, and at that point they had 150 girls and their dads come. It was held at the middle school, the Marlborough Middle School, and it was also co-sponsored with the Recreation Department.
We have a tremendous number of sponsors. We have over 20 raffle prizes being given away tonight, so it's going to be a great night.
Yeah, the kids can expect dancing, lots of refreshments, Trombetta's ice cream. As Rich said, we've got a display of raffle prizes that we had very, very generous donations for our raffle this year. So we've got over 20 prizes to be raffled off midway through the dance.
We also have about 15 Lion volunteers with us. Some have been members of this club for over 30 years. We've been around for a long, long time and glad to be doing this.
We're hoping to bring, a lot of girls back together to have just a lot of fun. Hopes for a good night, many memories, many laughs and smiles, and just kids having a good time after such a hard time.
Summer is in full swing, and so are many of our home gardens. If you've ever dreamed of starting your own garden but felt a little intimidated, Marlborough resident Colby Quest might be able to ease your anxiety. Here's volunteer host Chris Casello with more.
Hi, I'm Chris Casello, and we're here in Marlborough, Mass. at Garden Easy LLC with the owner and founder, Colby Quest. Hi, Colby. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm okay. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what Garden Easy LLC is?
Garden Easy LLC is a service that offers plants to the local community. The service that we provide is giving people healthy gardens. We offer tomato plants, peppers, eggplant, squash, cucumbers, zucchini, strawberries, and lots of other varieties of plants in various different sizes.
And what's the number one seller right now? Like what do we have to plant right now?
Big beef tomatoes. As generic as that sounds, they're big sellers.
So here we are, we're in the structure. Tell me a little bit about the greenhouse process and how was it built and what happened?
Sure, so the first 2 years I had the business, we had a temporary greenhouse. Wasn't great, we made it work, I will say that. And we've been updating and updating. This was one of the big things. It allows us to keep the plants in a really organized way. I'm very grateful for that.
I mean, this season has been unusually cold for May. I mean, I just moved back here from LA, so everything's unusually cold for me. But is there anything that you have to do to make sure that these plants are protected? Like, have you had to take any added measures, or does the greenhouse take care of that for you?
I mean, sometimes if the sun's beating directly on it on a 70-degree day, like we've had spontaneously in the past few weeks, it'll get up to 110 degrees in here. And it'll stay about that until sun starts going down. It'll remain about 70, and then I'll close the doors. The sun goes completely away, and it'll retain about a 50 to 60 degree heat, which is good for these plants.
And there's a more enclosed spot over there. That's for seedlings. So explain that process to us.
So I start all of my seeds on wire shelves in Jiffy pellet pods, and I'll water those, get them started, and once they grow, I say about. So if there's a tomato plant, will grow the first 2 leaves, and then once it grows the secondary set of leaves, that's when you can start thinking about transplanting it. Right after that, though, you're going to want to keep them in there at a 70-degree heat until they get nice and hardy, thick stalks, and they're able to survive in a 50 to 60-degree heat out here. But that's just tomatoes, but it's similar for all the different ones.
So how did you start all this? I can barely figure out what I want to do tomorrow, never mind starting a business at 19. So tell me all about it.
COVID in 2020, I was finishing up my senior year and we had to go home. And normally I have a job throughout, but that also got canceled. I consider myself an ambitious person. I was looking for something to do. My brother and I years ago gave help to my dad when we were growing plants, believe it or not, on a porch in an apartment with minimal sunlight. We had such success with our garden in previous years, and we bought plants from stores, and we saw ways in which we could improve on what they have done. And we saw an opportunity to supply our local community with plants, and it's proven to be successful since. In the first year that we started, it was COVID, so we did a lot of deliveries. That helped out people who wanted to grow gardens, who couldn't leave their house for whatever reason.
What can people expect? They call you, they put in an order, or they come here, they order their stuff. What happens after that?
There's probably 4 different avenues in which you can buy plants: plant appointment, plant sales, delivery, or pickup of an order. So you can place an order through my website, gardeneasyma.com, to determine whether you want that for pickup or delivery. Colby@gardeneasyma.com, my email. My Facebook pages and my Instagram pages, Garden Easy LLC. Feel free to contact me and we can set up a time for you to come by and look at some plants. We make the process pretty easy all throughout.
Every plant has a little QR code on it that you can scan, and tell them what happens when they scan that.
So when you scan the QR code, it will take you to my website, a description of what the product is, what you can expect growing it, days to maturity, and how to take care of it. It gives you a couple of pictures on different sizes of the product if we have variations available. It makes the whole process a little easier, we think. And we have recently come out with sub-irrigated, self-contained buckets that you don't have to do anything for.
You said sub-irrigated. What does that mean?
Sub-irrigated. All right. We do a lot of pots, and they're called earth boxes, and they are the sub-irrigated pots that we were talking about a little earlier that you basically don't have to do anything with. We'll plant the plants in there for you. All you have to do is water it down. There's a tube going down to the bottom where it connects to a grate. The soil sits on top of the grate. The roots will grow through the grate, and the water sits on the bottom, and the roots will just absorb the water without having to impact the soil integrity too much. We found that that's been really helpful. It kind of avoids a lot of the problems that people have with in-ground gardening. Overwatering, believe it or not. Plants sometimes don't like too much water. The roots could get rotted from the too much watering, or if they have been shone on by the sun.
And we got 24 hours in a day. About how many hours of that day is spent gardening?
Oh, when I'm home, let's say probably 13 or 14. Wow. Most of my day, I'll be here.
That's dedication, everybody.
It can be a handful at some times, but I think the stress is worth it. I find a lot of fulfillment out of just keeping my hands full.
Do your friends ever get annoyed with you for talking about plants too much?
Oh, I can never really tell. Sometimes I can ramble. Sometimes I can ramble about plants. I have a few close friends. They offer help, and I take them up on it from time to time.
And where do you hope to see your business go in the next few years?
I hope to be able to supply as many people as needed with these healthy plants. And that's my main goal. It's really about supplying plants to the gardens and making sure that people have these luscious, really well-grown gardens. I'm really looking to expand and get more people interested in my plants.
Hey, great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
One garden in the area that doesn't need any help from Colby is the recently rebranded New England Botanical Garden in Boylston. Our very own Alex O'Neill got a tour of this beautiful, peaceful property to see firsthand one of Worcester County's hidden jewels.
I'm Grace Elton, and I'm CEO here at the New England Botanic Garden at Tower Hill. Our name change is really significant. It's been a long time in the works. For about 35 years, we were the Tower Hill Botanic Garden, and we love that has such a regional quality, but we want it to be more encompassing of the whole New England region, not just central Massachusetts and our hill here. One comment I got from a person on Facebook was, "Wow, this is great, now the whole New England region owns this garden," and that's exactly what I wanted to happen. So, the name change doesn't mean that we want to drastically deviate from our mission. We just want to enhance what we already have and make it more accessible to more people. So we always want to be connecting people with plants. We want to better our community and improve the world through our gardening efforts. And a lot of that starts with engaging the next generation and youth. And that's one reason that we also coupled the name change with the opening of this wonderful children's garden, the Ramble. Kids don't really get to experience gardening and being in a formal garden, because they're often told that they're not allowed to go in the garden because they'll mess it up. Well, it's okay. They can mess this garden up. They can make it their own. They can play in the different features. They can climb through the brush pile and climb on the stumpery and play with the stones. There's a lot of naturalistic features in this garden that encourage a lot of interaction with the kids with their environment.
Yeah, it's like a fresh start. We're trying to kind of pave new beginnings and kind of open us up to like a broader, like a more general audience with the name, you know, because I think New England Botanic Garden is more clear about what the goal of this place is rather than Tower Hill. But we're kind of broadening, you know, to make it something more accepting for everybody in the area. Like, we have plants from all over the world inside, and I think Tower Hill kind of confines that a little bit, so the New England Botanic Garden opens up like more opportunities for people to realize what we're actually doing, which is connecting people to plants.
We are 171 acres in Boylston, and we have formal gardens, we have naturalistic gardens, we have a lot of trails through the woods, and a lot of great habitat for wildlife.
This is only about 40% popped up right now, but like once in a couple weeks, this entire field will be yellow. A lot of people really enjoy it. It's really beautiful when it's fully popped up. We have a few different types of daffodils in here, as you can see, like the lighter ones versus the darker ones.
Doubled our parking lot spaces up to 500 now. We've added 6 ADA accessible paths on areas where we couldn't have wheelchairs and strollers comfortably travel.
So this is going to be the sensory garden, and then these gardens that are kind of raised, like in these raised beds, we actually work with different disability groups to plant these types of gardens for people who can't necessarily access gardens easily, but like want to get into that, which are a lot of people. So we do a lot of cool different programs for people who want to be gardeners but don't necessarily have the easy access like most people do.
New England Botanic Garden at Tower Hill has so much to offer. You don't have to be a horticulturist. You don't have to be a plant lover even. You know, you can come and just walk our trails, take a class. We do everything from hands-on gardening to yoga, to art classes. We have classes for kids and families as well as school groups. So there's a lot we have to offer here. And then also in the summertime, we do fun things like we have a beer garden on Thursday nights. So we've got a little bit of something for everybody. So if you've never gone to a botanic garden and you're not really sure if it has something to offer you, give us a try, because there's a lot going on. So everything is available on our website, and it's a great resource to get some information about gardening as well as see what's going on here at the garden.
Hi, Matt Bisaccio for WMCT Sports. Summer in Marlborough also means the return of the Marlborough Shamrocks. Coming off a national championship, this season is sure to be another exciting one. Many of the players from the championship team are back, and I caught up with a few of them at a recent practice. Just days before their opening game against Southern New England, the back-to-back champion Marlborough Shamrocks are poised to make a run at their third straight league and national championship. Quarterback Blake Rice and linebacker Brandon Hampton talk about what it's like getting back on the field for their third season in Marlborough.
Very exciting. Off-season's always tough. It's kind of a lull, so you try and get in as many, on-field days that you can, but it's also the winter, so it's not very warm. So it's nice to be able to come out on the field with the guys and, just have fun playing football.
Feels awesome, man. I'm very grateful about the time that I have to play football. A good group of guys out here with me, so it's exciting to get out here and do it again for another season.
Despite losing a few pieces on either side of the ball, confidence is something that isn't lacking with this group.
Confidence, I would say yes, because we still have a lot of leaders that are on the team. We did lose a bunch of guys that are not playing anymore that were very key role players in our success. But I'm very confident with the new pieces that we got, we can put it together.
Confidence has ever really been in the question, but we have, obviously it's a new team, new energy, and I think as a whole team, we know we can do some special things, so we're very excited for this season.
Even when you're a champion, there's always room for improvement. Rice and Hampton, being the competitors they are, shared what they worked on over the offseason.
There's always something. I was really trying to work on my fundamentals a lot more. My father's always been supporting me as a QB. He knows a lot of technique and stuff like that over the years. So he was kind of just drilling those fundamentals back into me. I was, dipping my elbow too low or dragging my feet or, any multitude of things. And then another big one is just, being being confident in my throws and trusting my knee. Obviously, I had the injury last year, so it took me a while to get back comfortable, stepping into throws and being mobile.
Was there something that you identified in your game that you tried to work on in the offseason to prepare yourself for this year?
Yeah, it was downsizing. I was a little heavy last year, a little bit bigger. Now I'm in the 240 range, so I'll be able to be more agile, be able to run sideline to sideline better. So just losing weight and making sure I'm more mentally prepared to again and physically ready.
Over the last 2 seasons, the Shamrocks have gone 27-3, winning a ridiculous 90% of their games. When asked about what they need to do to keep their team focused, they expressed a similar sentiment.
I just got to be on these guys' back and hold them accountable. Like I tell them, they got to hold me accountable. I hold them accountable, and the success will come. And we've had success over the last 2 years doing it that way.
I mean, as a whole team, we hold each other accountable. I hold guys accountable. Whether it be getting together on the weekends or during the week outside of practice to get more reps in, get everyone on the same page. But when people make mistakes, you don't have to be overly critical, but make sure that they're aware of what they did wrong and what they need to do to be successful moving forward.
Expectations will be high this season, but that seems to be just fine with these two.
Realistically, we want to win that game each week, go 1-0 every week. But in the back of our minds, we know what we're capable of.
Championship only. Championship and the Nationals again, to stay #1 in the nation.
After this week's game in Bridgewater, they'll come back home week 2 as they kick off their home schedule at Kelleher Field against the Brockton Bucks. You can catch that game here live on WMCT-TV. At Marlborough High, Matt Bisaccio, WMCT Sports. So let's go Shamrocks. This year, WMCT will be live streaming all of the Shamrock home games on our social media platforms, as well as Comcast Channel 8 and Verizon Channel 34. We're going to end our show at Memorial Beach. Our summer intern, Declan Garside, edited this video from the 2nd annual Senior Beach Barbecue and Concert, with the flashback providing the music. Thanks for watching. I'm Matt Bisaccio. We'll see you next time.
One, two, 1, 2.